NFL season is on the horizon and the NFL offseason is almost over. I would like to just count down the top 5 NFL offseason losers. This is a warning that if your team's on here, I'm sorry. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying they could have done better. And also, I would like to say this is my opinion, and this isn't based on my favorite team or something. It's just purely my opinion. Also, before the video even starts, I would like you guys to like and comment for me if you want to. I would also like it if you would subscribe if you're new, but you don't have to. Anyways, let's get into the video. At number 5, I got the New England Patriots. The reason I put the New England Patriots number 5 is because they lost key defensive players in Kyle Van Noy and JC Jackson. Even though they did get Devontae Parker to help Mac Jones out in that wide receiver room and picked up 2 defensive backs in the draft, they still got a lot of work to do. On top of this, there's been some heat coming out of that offensive coaching staff. You know, it's Bill Belichick. Anything can happen, and it is the Patriots. But so far this offseason, the Patriots haven't been making great moves. They've lost players, and honestly, they could have done better. Maybe Bill Belichick rallies the team and gets into a playoff berth. But things ain't looking too good in that AFC East with the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills, who have just risen from the ground, and the Jets possibly coming up and being good again. At number 4, we have the Chicago Bears. Do I really need to explain why the Bears lost this offseason? You lose Allen Robinson, your number 1 wide receiver on the team. He goes to LA for a big contract. You trade Khalil Mack for 2 second-round picks. Was it 2 second-round picks? I don't even remember. But all I remember was it was a second-round pick and like a bag of chips. Like, really? You could have got more out of Khalil Mack. This is a guy that you traded for maybe 2 or 3 first-round picks in a second. And instead of, you know, getting that back, because Khalil Mack is still a good player. Just, he's on the Bears and he's not maximizing his full potential. Instead of getting maybe like a first and a second, you get a second and a third. Like, really? And now you look at the offense and you're like, oh, so who does Justin Fields throw to? Honestly, nobody, unless they have Mooney. I don't even know Mooney's on the team anymore. I mean, you got St. Brown. Like, he's injury prone though. That's the problem. He's not as good as his brother Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's on the Detroit Lions. But anyways, that's why I put him at number 4. Justin Fields, I'm just gonna say good luck in Chicago this year, or in your whole career. Because personally, if I have to go one more year of hell where they won't build around me and they're just giving people away like nothing, then I'm out. I'm leaving. I'm sorry. At number 3, I had the Baltimore Ravens. The reason I had the Baltimore Ravens in number 3 is because, well, in the beginning, they were actually on track to doing some pretty good stuff for their defense. Like adding new defensive backs, adding some new linebackers, you know, upgrading their defense. Because, you know, last year, the defense was god-awful. Well, that all went to waste when they decided to trade their only wide receiver that Lamar Jackson throws to for a first-round pick. A first, and I don't even remember, maybe a second or a third. Even though he does still have Mark Andrews to throw to, they're gonna have to do something about that. Lamar has to throw to someone, and other than that, Lamar's probably gonna run. Honestly, I can just see Lamar running the whole season next year. They did get a new running back. I don't know his name, and sorry if I don't know his name, but I know they got a new running back, and yeah, that's really all I can say. At number 2, I have the Dallas Cowboys. There many reasons why I could say the Dallas Cowboys had a pretty bad offseason, but I'm gonna stick it to the main points. Number 1, wide receiver. Well, you traded Amari Cooper, your wide receiver 1, your best wide receiver on the team, next to CeeDee Lamb. So what's next? Well, you don't know. Because now CeeDee Lamb's got to come in, play wide receiver 1, is going to get most of the ball. Which is good on him, honestly. But the whole problem isn't CeeDee Lamb. The problem is what you got out of Amari Cooper. You trade him to Cleveland, and you get a 3rd round pick. A 3rd round pick. Who watches the draft after the 2nd round is my question. On top of that, a 3rd round pick is so cheap. That's like saying, hey, yo, we got someone really good. You want it? Yeah, take it. We'll take anything you want. Honestly, I can't even blame Cowboys fans for this. I gotta blame Jerry Jones. His decision making this offseason is just god awful. And releasing Randy Gregory and not even trying to re-sign him. He went to Denver. Best hopes for him. But honestly, I don't see the Cowboys doing too hot this year. Including the fact that the Eagles are now rising with their new wide receiver room and Jalen Hurts coming off a playoff loss. with our final team on this list. I would like to have a drum roll, please. Today's biggest loser and number one on my list, the Tennessee Titans. Congratulations, Tennessee. You're number one for once and is not choking a playoff game. Well, what can I say? Your guys' offseason's been pretty shitty. You know, you're in cap space hell after paying Julio Jones a shit ton of money, while at the same time trying to pay AJ Brown while also paying Derrick Henry. So, what do? You trade AJ Brown for a first round pick. You free up cap space and you just said, I don't want to pay a good wide receiver that's on my team. Okay, that's figured out. Now what do? You draft a wide receiver in the draft. Good job. On a good roll here, but things start a little slippery up. You see, you draft the QB in the draft, knowing that Ryan Tannehill is going to be god-awful next year. If anything, decent because of Derrick Henry. Well, what happens when you have a rookie quarterback and a quarterback that's been there for a couple of years? I'll give you a hint. It's what happens when pit bulls meet a new small dog. They fight. Ryan Tannehill is honestly an asshole of a quarterback in this situation. He really just said, honestly, that's not even what a quarterback's supposed to be. You guys took a massive L for that, and that is why you're number one on my list. And anyways, if you guys like this video, please, again, like and subscribe if you want to. And honestly, I love you all. So, cue the music.